100 subs question and answer video that I promised a while ago. Before I get into it, I want to apologize for being away for so long. I had a lot of issues at the start of the year with mental health and stuff like that. It was making it very hard for me to feel like I wanted to be on camera, and then I went back to study, and it just became harder and harder to find the time. But I'm wanting to get back into doing my channel again, and I thought it would be good to do the 100 sub video that I collected the questions for a while back. I also have another video that will be coming out soon. I pre-recorded something a couple months ago, which was a first impression of the quintessential quintuplets, and that will be the next video that I release. It was pre-recorded a while ago, so keep that in mind when you watch it, but yeah, but I am hoping to make more content soon. I also have a haul video coming, which is going to be for February, March and April. I think I'm going to start doing my hauls maybe quarterly instead of monthly, just because my financial situation since last year has changed significantly, and I can no longer afford to buy a lot of manga, which is a shame because I love reading manga. I know that I could sort of read it online for free and then sort of talk about it, but I don't really like to do that, because I'd much rather support the creators of the content and encourage English publishers to keep producing manga. I also think that a lot of those fan translations aren't very good, and it makes it come across a bit strange, so it's hard to sort of review something that isn't the original works, if you get what I mean. But I have a list of questions here that I'm going to be doing today, so let's get into it. So the first question is, what is my favourite manga? Now that's a really difficult question. I like a lot of manga. It's hard to sort of pinpoint which is my favourite, but I'm going to narrow it down to two that I like very much. The first one is Black Butler, which is an incomplete series. It is, I think it's a shonen, technically. It's a shonen action series, and I just absolutely love it. I loved the anime back in the day, and heard that the manga was heaps better, which it totally is. And yeah, I've been obsessed with it. It is not finished though, it is an ongoing series. It is very good. And another one of my favourites, which is a completely different genre, completely different feel to it, and completed, is Fruits Basket. I think Fruits Basket is one of my favourite things I've ever read. Not just manga, but books and other media as well. I just think that it touches on a lot of important subjects and is a good example of good writing. But those are probably the two favourite, but there's so many good manga, it's really hard to narrow down favourites. Next question is, are there any series that you're struggling to find? Yes, a lot of things sort of go in and out of stock a lot, and there's certain volumes of things that I'm particularly struggling with. Like volume 3 of Nana, I think it is really hard to come across. It's been out of stock for months. There's quite a lot of them that are just out of stock a lot of the time that I'm trying to get at the moment, but that's okay. I'll just collect things when they come back in stock and sort of do it that way. But Nana's definitely one of them. I wonder if maybe it's going out of print. I'm not sure. It's just that it's an old series and it hasn't been, the manga has had it on hiatus for I think over 10 years now. So yeah, Sweetness and Lightning is another one that's quite hard to come across in Australia for a reasonable price. By reasonable, I mean less than like $30 a volume, because I think that's a bit much for me. But those are the ones I'm finding it hard to get. There's also some that I probably would like, but that have been out of print for a very long time, like Ghost Stories. I watched the anime and I'm really curious what the manga's like, but I haven't been able to find, like, I haven't even been able to find, like, scan translations of it to even see what the manga would have been like. But it's been out of print for a long time. And there's probably more, but I can't really think of them off the top of my head at the moment, but there's quite a few. Next one is, how long is your hair? I do have quite long hair. If I put that back there, you can see that my hair is, you know, down to my hip. Sorry, it goes down on my toes to be at the right height. I don't know exactly, but I have a tape measure, so why don't I just put that there, and then can the camera see? The camera is too high. Let's see if I can. I don't know what that says, but that's in inches, if anyone in the comments wants to tell me how long my hair is. So yeah, that's how long my hair is. Sorry if that was a bit difficult or if the angle is a little bit different now. It's just that I had a hard time getting the camera to sit back where it was, because I have a tripod on top of another tripod to try and have it at the right height. And yeah, because my other tripod's a bit broken, so it tilts down, and I didn't like the downward angle, and it wasn't getting like the top of my head. But anyway, what are your favourite foods? Well, I like a lot of different foods. I don't know. I really like chocolate. And pizza. I don't know. I don't think about it too much, what my favourite foods are. Probably chocolate, if I had to pick a single thing. What book did you like the best out of all the books you had to read in school? Oh, that's difficult. I read so many crappy books in high school. I don't really know. I don't remember a lot of I don't remember much about what I read in the early years of high school. So maybe Looking for Alibrandi. I think that's what it's called. I think it has a movie as well, but I think that might be the best thing that we read. We didn't really read a lot of good stuff, and I wasn't sure if it had to be, if this person meant like a book, like a novel, or if they meant like anything you read in high school. Because we read some plays as well, and I wouldn't say that there was a good play, but I would say that it was interesting, and it was called The Man with Five Children. I have no idea why we were allowed to read that in high school. It's very weird, but we read that as a play for English as well, so I don't know if that counts, because that probably would be better than Looking for Alibrandi, because at least it was quite interesting. We also got to go see the play, actually. I'm sorry, I'm going on a complete tangent that has nothing to do with the question, but yeah. Do you have any hobbies outside of manga? Yeah, I do. I like playing video games for a start. Mostly like farming sim games and like things like that, but most simulation games are quite fun for me. And some platformers as well, but like the easier kind. Like I have a Nintendo Switch, and I love playing Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. But oh, and I used to have a PS2, and my favourite game was Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, which is a platformer. I've also recently started to read graphic novels, if that counts as a hobby, outside of manga. It's quite similar to manga, I suppose. If you'd like, I'd be happy to talk about what I've started reading, which is the Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novels. I'd be happy to talk about the graphic novels on this channel as well. I've recently started reading the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. So if you think I should review those and talk about those on the channel as well, let me know, and I'd be happy to do that, because I think that'd be kind of cool. And it's sort of close to manga since it's a graphic novel, and I think that Avatar definitely has sort of an anime style to it. I don't really have that many hobbies. I do like doing crafts sometimes, but I haven't really done much craft for a while. But I'm thinking about doing some anime and manga related crafts and decor that I might put up on the channel, like making, like how to make a anime themed canvas or jewelry and stuff like that. So if you think if that's something you might want to see on the channel, let me know. What's next? Did you go to university, and if so, what was your major? I don't attend university. I attend TAFE, which is a different kind of higher education service, if you call it that. So TAFE I don't really know how to explain what TAFE is if you're not an Australian, but TAFE is a form of tertiary education. You go there after high school. It's sort of the in-between sort of thing between high school and university. So some people go straight from high school to university. Some people will go to TAFE instead, particularly if you want to do an apprenticeship or do a trade, like construction and things like that. But it's also good for lower level degrees. So I didn't go straight into university after high school. I did a couple of degrees at TAFE. So I've done a Cert 3 in Community Services and a Diploma of Youth Work. And now I'm doing my bachelor's degree through TAFE. So it is a uni level degree, but it's not technically through a university, it's through TAFE because I study online. And do I have any majors? I don't really have a choice to do majors, but I do have elective pathways. So there's 4 different electives that you can choose from, and I get to choose 2 that I would like to do as my elective pathways in study. I think you could probably do all of them if you really wanted to, but it'd be a lot more work and you'd owe a lot more money at the end of it. So the pathways that I chose to go with are Foundations of Disability Work, because it is an interesting sector and there's so many jobs out there for people There's so many jobs out there in disability support, and like, because you can never have too many disability support workers. There's a massive need for that in this country. But also my other elective pathway was, what was it? Sorry, well, I'm trying to think of the specific name for it. Working with families at risk. And I chose to do that because my ultimate goal would be to be a youth worker and work with like young people who are from troubled families and troubled homes, and help them to either reconcile with their families or find other options for them. So those are the pathways that I've chosen. But there were other electives which were working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, which I chose not to do because it's a difficult industry to get into if you don't live in like a rural area, and it's also something that I've covered previously in a different degree. Or there was Foundations of Settlement work, which is working with immigrants. It's very difficult to get into that because most of those organisations are out of country, and most people who work in the industry are bilingual, and I am not. So I thought that I would go with the ones that, one, worked with the pathway that I particularly wanted to take, which was youth work, and two, that would be most desired, and that there would be the most amount of jobs for. So that's why I chose them. If you'd like to know more about like community services work and things like that, let me know, because I do have another YouTube channel that I'm sort of in limbo at the moment. I don't really know what I want to do with it, and I was thinking about maybe making a channel where I could talk about some of these things, but I don't know if that was of any interest to people. It might not be for this particular community, since this is, you know, an anime and manga channel. You guys might not really care about stuff like that, but if you might be curious about things like that, let me know, and I might use the other channel for that. I'm going to continue with the questions now. Sorry if I'm going on tangents on all these questions. Sometimes I find it hard to focus and remember things. And it's been a while since I've recorded something, so I'm feeling a little anxious. Do you believe that there is life on Europa right now as you read this? Maybe. I don't see why not. Realistically, I mean, there's no way that we are the only intelligent beings out there in the universe. So is there a possibility that there is life on Europa? Yes. Is there a possibility that there is life anywhere else out in the universe or out in space? Absolutely. It would be completely illogical to think that humans were the only intelligent species in the universe, and that we were the only ones that have a planet that is inhabited by people. Like, that would be completely ridiculous, like statistically illogical. So there has to be other species and other life forms out there, whether they're on Europa or elsewhere. Sorry, that's just a bit of a funny question. And the final thing is, what anime would you want to watch with your dad if you could just watch one more show with him? So for those that don't know, my dad passed away when I was 16. And he's the reason that I'm into anime and manga. So when I was little, he introduced me to anime through shows like Astro Boy, like you can see up there, and stuff like that. And then as I sort of got a little bit older, I started noticing that there were these animes on TV, and like Vampire Night and Orion High School Host Club. And I told him about it and how much I wanted to watch them. And he would go out and buy them for me and bring them home, and we'd watch them together on DVD. I'd download stuff and bring it over on a USB to watch at his house with him, and yeah. So he really fostered my love of anime and like nerdy stuff. My dad was an absolute massive nerd himself, not just when it comes to like anime and manga, but his favourite thing in the whole world was Star Wars. We even played the Star Wars theme song at his funeral. He was just a massive nerd, and so he played a big role in me watching anime and loving anime. And if I could watch just one more with him, I think it would be, it'd have to be the Fruits Basket reboot. All 3 seasons. One, so I get to spend, in that scenario, I would spend quite a lot of time with him since there's 3 seasons, but also because I watched the original Fruits Basket with my dad, and I remember sitting down with him and talking to him about it and connecting with him about like the emotions that were behind this show. Even though the original didn't cover a lot of the big impactful parts of the story, there were still parts of it that were impactful and emotional. And I remember talking to my dad about them and saying, like, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to lose a parent. Like, I don't know what I would do without you. And then, like, to now understand it in a totally different way, it just makes it hit different, you know? But also, he loved watching Fruits Basket, and I remember him getting emotional at the end in that scene with Kyo and his master at the end. And my dad really loved it, and I think that he would love to see the story the way that it was meant to be seen, the completed version of it. I'd love to just talk to him about it and show it to him, and because I think that he would just love it so much. Like, it's the way the story was meant to be. We always felt that the story was incomplete and that there should have been a second season. And to now have a complete reboot and have it look amazing and have the original dub voice actors in it, I think it'd just be so amazing to watch it with him and like compare to our experience of watching the first one together. And yeah, I just think that would be amazing. Sorry if my voice is cracking a little bit. Talking about my dad does make me a bit emotional, but yeah. But thank you so much to anyone who sent the questions in, and I'm so sorry that I've been away for so long. I'd like to apologise again for that, but as I said, I'm going to try and do my best to start making videos again and put in more effort to this channel and to my Instagram. I haven't posted on there for a while either, so hopefully I will get this video out very soon. It's good to be back, and I hope that I can keep making videos. Like I said, I do have a second channel that's in limbo, so if you have any ideas on what I could use that channel for, whether it be to like the community services stuff, or maybe if you want to hear more about just me in general, let me know. I'm not really sure what to do with it, so let me know what kind of channel you'd want to see. Thank you so much if you sat through this whole video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye!